And today we have with us Kuldeep Gupta, the CEO of proMX India, with us, who will give us a deep dive into this topic. And he's as well a most valuable professional in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So without another ado, Kuldeep, the room is yours.
Thank you, Katya, for this wonderful introduction. Well, just wanted to ask you first thing, can you guys all see my screen, Katya? Is it
Yes,
difficult? Okay, fine. Can you hear me all right?
yes, we can hear you.
Super. All right, so without even wasting a time from my side as well, what we are going to be looking at is one of the most interesting topic is challenges of Dynamics 365 dashboards that we face regularly. I mean, they are though helpful, but not as Power BI. And what Power BI brings as power to the table is something that we will look at in our presentation today. So before we actually start talking about too much of the topic, let me first talk something about myself a little bit. Yes, Katya said I am Kuldeep Gupta. I am basically located in Mumbai city of um, India, which is a nice part, overcrowded part near the beaches of India. Well, I'm the CEO of proMX India since last an year. I'm also the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional in Business Applications category since last 3 years. Yeah, Dynamics 365 project operations is what I'm expert at. I love doing that. I have a popular course called as Dynamics 365 PSA course, which is getting started with D365 PSA course, which is free of cost, hosted on the website so people can take advantage of it. It was done for the community purpose. So if you go on the Google and search for D365 PSA course by Kuldeep Gupta, you will find that. But for your purpose, the link is also mentioned on the screen here. You can just use this and enroll for the course. Well, I have also written down an ebook on PSA since it was a baby. Now it has grown to a full-fledged a product, and has many new features. But yeah, it's still an interesting read because a lot of stuff still remains the same, like configuration on all those kind of stuff has never been changed. Well, last, I have my own blog site, which you can refer, and I keep on regularly posting my blogs and updates. So if you want to read more about upcoming stuff in Dynamics or in project operations majorly, you can follow my blog site. Now, coming to the main topic, um, today we'll cover 3 agenda topics here. Um, the first one is Dynamics 365 dashboard challenges. Second is the Power BI versus Dynamics 365 dashboard. And then we'll look at some of the case studies as to what Power BI, what all Power BI has helped me with actually. So yeah, let's start a little bit more deep dive inside the first topic, as it says Dynamics 365 dashboard challenges. And yes, so I have a list of challenges. We will go through one by one each and every challenge and see what they actually mean. So when you say unable to slice and dice the data, meaning in Dynamics 365, you are not able to slice the data or filter the data on all the visuals all together. Maybe let me bring up the screen so you can actually have a good glimpse of what I'm trying to say. So this is a typical example of how the dashboard in Dynamics 365 looks. So, well, if you want to filter on the visual, maybe that's possible. This is one visual. There are 6 visuals in all. You can say this is second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Well, on the first one, if you try to filter down, quite possible. But if you want this filter to be sliced and diced, in fact, applied over to all the visuals, that is not possible. That is only possible in Power BI. So if you go to a Power BI report example that I will also bring up on the screen here. So let's say if I click on visual here, you will see and observe that the filter automatically is applied to all the visuals and the data is shown on the click of the visual part, which that means the not started project. There are 9 projects that are not started, and the below will also show the list of 9 projects. And in the bar graphs also, the effort by the project will also get filtered based on those 9 projects. Similarly, so as to other visuals. So this is exactly the power of Power BI. But then again, if you don't want all the visuals to be filtered, you can also do that. I'll come to that in a shorter bit, maybe. Yeah. So let's look at the second aspect of it. What are the challenge? The second challenge is you cannot compare the data between multiple years or multiple quarters or multiple months. Now, what I exactly mean by that is, so when you look at this dashboard, in a visual, if I want to compare the, let's say if this is a practice management dashboard, maybe the projects, if I want to compare the some data of projects that were run in year 2021 versus 2022, and how was a trend in each and every month in both the years, that kind of comparison in one of the visuals in Dynamics 365 dashboard is not possible. Well, if you look at this in Power BI, it is quite possible. So let me take you to a beautiful dashboard. And there is a nice marketing dashboard. Of course, there is a demo data inside. So I have a button that is comparison button. Well, you click on that. At this point of time, we have tried to compare 3 years data, 2022, 21, 20. And I don't think we have data for 2021. Otherwise, it will be a third line that will come here. And in year 2020, which is the orange line here, and 2022, there's a huge difference that you can compare in the number of leads that have come in, wherein it, yeah, because of the data, but then you can compare in every month between 2 years what has happened. So this is exactly not possible to do it in Dynamics 365 dashboard. Yeah, let's continue looking at more challenges. The third one says the dashboard, the visuals are not interactive. When you say they are not interactive, meaning you cannot drill through the dashboards enough. You can drill through the dashboard like up to a certain degree of level in Dynamics 365. But in Power BI, you have n number of levels through which you can drill through. And not just that, maybe when you, I told you one of the things, when you want to filter out on one of the dashboards and visuals, and you want it to be applied to all the other visuals, not possible in Dynamics 365, but is possible in Power BI. But let's assume a scenario in Power BI, if you want that, when you click on a particular visual, only certain visual gets filtered and the rest doesn't disturbs. That is also quite possible, and you can configure that as well. So maybe let me show you that with one of the reports that I have for you guys is demo. So it'll show you the interactive aspect. Maybe let's say if I click here, you see, if you observe, these two visuals are not changed. but the changes happened only to the below grid, which is saying only I want to see the 9 not started projects and the rest two are not filtered. Well, it can also be filtered, but there are permutations and combinations that are quite possible to actually do here. Um, all right, let's continue with more challenges. Okay, next one is pretty interesting. Uh, it says restricted number of visuals are present in Dynamics 365 dashboard, whereas I think the fourth and the fifth can be combined together. When I talk about it, the next one says we have very selective design formats that are available in Dynamics 365 dashboard. Comparatively, when we talk about visuals in Power BI, we have enormous capabilities of selecting what kind of visual we want, how to make it more beautiful, more attractive. And so there are many design formats that can be selected from all the available sources, or you can design by your own. Not just that, you can overlay each and every visual onto each other to a certain degree of extent, the way you want it. So let's actually have a quiet look at it. Maybe when I say the restricted number of visuals in Dynamics 365 dashboard is, if you look at here, when you click on new button, you click on Dynamics 365 dashboard. Let's try to create a Dynamics 365 dashboard. Not exactly create, but here you can see there are these kind of visuals. So maybe you have 3 by 3 columns. That means you can have 6 visuals here, 3 on the top and 3 below, which is typically what we are seeing on the screen right now. Then 3 on the top, 2 down, like that. There are restricted visuals here. And you see at max, you can add only 6 visuals here, not more than that. And onto your right hand side, the next point was you have selected visuals that you can select as, like, let's say, a pie chart or bar graph or line graph. So there are restrictions as to what you can show here. Um, Whereas in Power BI, it is quite interesting. Well, let's look at Power BI, how it looks. Now I'm just going to be trying to edit this one because to create Power BI will take a little bit while, but yeah, when I click and edit, I would like to add a page here. Well, on your right hand side, if you see there are a lot of different types of visuals that you can um, add. And if you click here, this is the first one, click outside, the second one comes in, then click, add the third one, donut chart or something like that. And now you are not restricted to place them in this order. You can place them anywhere you want. Like if I want to overlay on this is also okay. If I want to overlay this on this also is okay. So you can add as many number of visuals that you want, and you're not restricted to only 6 visuals that can be added onto the screen. So yeah, this is one of the most beautiful things that I like about Power BI, that it gives you a lot of flexibility to select the design formats that you want. Well, to point out the last challenges, as to point out challenges, not always a good thing, but we are on to the last one. Restricted to only one table selection per visual. And that's true. What it says is maybe when you look at the Power dashboard, Dynamics 365 dashboard, you are only restricted to select the data in one visual from one table, formerly called as entity. So if you want to filter and look at the data, like I want to um, mix 2 entity information or 2 table information, like I want to see the time entries for a certain particular project, it's quite not possible here, but maybe in Power BI it is quite possible because you can write complex queries there in order to fetch the data that you want, and stuff like that can be done. So yes, I think we have covered stipulated challenges as of now that I want to bring to the table. At this point of time, maybe I would like you to accumulate all your questions to the end, or maybe Katya, Elena, if there are any questions for this particular stuff people want to ask, you can let me know now and I can address them now, or we can take it up at the later end also. All right. So if there are no questions, maybe I move to the next slide. Okay, now we do some comparison between Power BI and Dynamics 365 dashboards. Now, when we say we saw a lot of challenges with Dynamics 365 dashboards. We should also understand that Dynamics 365 dashboards are also very useful, but in a different aspect. Well, in our daily routine work, when we try to use Dynamics on daily business, certain things are quite easily manageable with Dynamics 365 dashboard. So let's say we take a nice example. A project manager, he gets a time entry approval from one of his resources, which is waiting for his approval. And he can just log into the Dynamics 365 dashboard, look at it and say, hey, something for my approval, open the record from the dashboard itself, approve it, and he's done. Well, in Power BI, the beauty is you can write most complex queries. You can see predictions of data. You can see some trends coming up, which is actually not quite possible in Dynamics 365 dashboards. Power BI reports help you with the forecasting. It can help you take a lot of management related decisions. So, for example, I'll give you a small scenario wherein when we were working for a customer in the past, and the customer had 20 manufacturing units spread it all across the globe. Um, so they got this huge Power BI implementation done, and they found out that throughout the globe there were 3 manufacturing units. Of course, that was an FMCG customer, food sector customer, so they have to very carefully evaluate where the losses are happening, and if not corrected at the right time, they might end up into more losses. So they figured out with Power BI report that their 4 manufacturing units are actually suffering losses continuously and are dipping by 0.5% per day. So before even further taking losses, they took a decision to wrap up the business of those 4 manufacturing units, of course, by taking some measures to see if it improves, but despite that, it didn't. So, you know, that kind of decisions Power BI dashboards can help you take. There are more use cases that I'll show you that helps you take more beautiful decisions, but we wait for the use cases to come in. At this point of time, I think this is where you can compare how Dynamics 365 dashboards can help you over Power BI reports dashboards. Yeah, maybe we can go to the next slide. Or before this, maybe I would like to show you some of the beautiful Power BI uh, reports, not as in use case, but some of the scenarios that we can compare from there. So let me go to my Power BI page. Yes. So if I go back to my, I don't want to save this change. Okay. Well, let's go to the project planning dashboard. In fact, I would like to show you one of the very interesting stuff here. And I forgot to mention one of the points. Power BI reports have a beautiful capability of having some kind of AI in them, where in Dynamics 365 dashboard, they are just based on the kind of query that the user has written. So let's say I'll give you an example here. If you see Q&A, I prepared a report where you can actually query the Power BI, and then it gives you the answer in the result of report. So it's kind of an intelligent report. So let's say if I type projects, so I'm actually asking questions to the report, and you see the data is getting filtered down. Projects by project manager. Okay, my spelling is not right. Manager, yeah, correct. Okay. So if I filter down by project manager, you can see there are various projects that have been listed down. So this way you can keep on asking questions to the Power BI report the way you are very curious about. But before you ask questions, you should also understand what kind of data is feeded in the report. Otherwise, you kind of ask its name and it gives you the birth date should not happen. So maybe the person who is interacting with the report should understand well the kind of data it has, what are the kind of connections between different fields and all stuff like that before they use this kind of feature. So, but this is very interesting. Um, the second, I also talked about somewhere forecasting. So it's again an interesting piece to show you guys here. So I've tried to keep a very simple report for you guys to make you explain how Power BI can actually forecast. Forecasting always sounds beautiful when we talk about sales. Hence, we've picked up this use case of sales forecasting. And if you see here, what we've tried to do is try to build a forecast from Jan 2019 until Jan 2021, July 2021, sorry. And if you see the green line are the actuals figure where the sales have been dipping, then going up, then down, but eventually the graph is moving up. And post Jan 2021, we tried to do a forecast based on the past historical data first. Then second, the trend of how the data was in this many years and months. And third, what level of positive forecast and what level of negative forecast you want. If you put that kind of data in a sophisticated way and you create a forecasting report, it can really take you to 99% accuracy of your forecasting. And this is what is a forecasted result that had come up with this. You see the gray part on the top is the positive bandwidth that we have selected that it might go up to this and not beyond this. On negative side, if it hits on the negative side due to some reasons, it will go beyond this. But yeah, this is kind of the forecasting that actually is quite possible here. Yeah, so just wanted to show you some of the stuff here. And based on these kind of stuff, your some of the if you guys are a lot into marketing, so your sometimes sentiments or marketing trends go very viral. So Power BI can also understand those sentiments. They can read your what do you call social media sentiments. It can analyze your tweets and it can do a beautiful prediction and analysis of those data and give you some nice results out on your screen. So it's just not some ordinary reporting tool, but a kind of intelligent reporting tool that really helps you in terms of taking a lot of good decision. Cool. So let's move to the next slide. Okay. So here I want to talk about the sharing capability of, let's say, if I have a dashboard and a Power BI dashboard, how do we share it? So Dynamics 365 dashboard only can be shared with another Dynamics 365 user. That means if the other user doesn't has Dynamics 365 user license, he can never see the dashboard that I have created. Whereas in Power BI, we can share the Power BI dashboard with the Power BI users or to the ones who has actually Office 365 accounts. It's just that they need a Power BI dashboard. They need a Power BI licenses, which is not that expensive. Actually, I guess it's somewhere close to $10, and then should be sorted. So yeah, just wanted to take this small opportunity to tell you the difference between how the Power BI versus Dynamics 365 dashboard sharing capabilities work. Well, let's move to the next one. Yeah, so now comes an interesting slides where I like to show you some of the case studies that we have seen. Maybe let's jump into some Power BI reports before we do some stuff. Okay. Okay, we saw the forecasting, but maybe let's jump on to some other interesting reports. Yeah, let me open the project planning report, and there are multiple dashboard and multiple reports are here. Maybe the let me open my favorite one for this. Ah, this is also my favorite, but not that cool. Now this one, if you observe here, you can see an employee utilization report, as in you understand how your employees are getting utilized month by month. Um, which resource below is allocated to which project in which month, and stuff like that. And if you see, the same is trended up on your bar graph. So if I click on any of the bar graph, you can hover over them and you can get to know the resource name also. David Hill, and for the January month, he is allocated for 585.42 hours. Practically not possible. Maybe he's working for 5 months work in just 1 month. Maybe you can understand this is just about the data, but yeah, this is a demo data. But if you click on the plus, you can see David Hill's capacity is 160 hours, but he's booked for 558.42 hours. So yeah, this gives you a very good glimpse if your data is well organized, and you can understand how exactly your allocations look like, who have done for exactly the committed number of hours, meaning the number of hours that they have booked onto, how much number of time entries they have done as of now. So if you see, Daniel Bach here has done time entry of 1 hour here for no allocation done. But that's also an interesting thing to see, that people are not committed to the project, but they are doing time entries to the project and stuff like that. So this is one of the beautiful view that I always like to see, and as management can take a beautiful decision on this report as to how their employee utilization is looking like. This is another beautiful report. If you see project overview trend, well, you can actually see a good trend of all the reports, and how each project on this line and its manager, and how many number of hours in each month are the allocations spread across. So if you see X project, the first one has 103.33 hours in January, Feb, March. There are no allocations due to some reasons, I don't know, but April, May, June. So the allocations are spread across. So if you would like to have a glimpse of what allocations for which project looks like in each month, would this report definitely helps you, so you understand totally on this particular project how many number of hours have been allocated till now. This also helps the project managers take care of the budgeting, that they are not over allocating the team members and keeping themselves within the budget. The magenta or the pink color line that you see over here running is the availability of the resources that is available, but at the moment we have not fully utilized the capacity. Only in the month of April we have been able to utilize the complete availability of the resources. But yes, we do have some gap here where people are free available but not being allocated onto the project at this point of time. Well, one more nice report. Let me just show you. Again, it's with respect to resource allocation, but when you can see more of signaling here is you can see the current week on the left hand side. You have all the list of allocate resources. This is the current week allocation, and you can see some colors. So colors flying around is like 8 hours. A person works for 8 hours a day, and so if they are completely allocated, they will be green in color. If they are less than 8 hours allocated, they'll be yellow in color. That gives you a sharp sting that yes, people are available for more allocation. Well, if they are over allocated more than 8 hours, it'll be red in color. And if you would like to see and drill down and see what exactly they are allocated onto, you can right click on them and click on drill through and go on see the allocation details, and you'll be able to understand. All right, on 26, this particular resource was allocated in 3 different projects, and for 1.5 hours on one, 0.8 and 6.5 hours likewise, so total goes to 8.80. So that is how the spread is. So yeah, this is another piece of use case that. So, these 2 widgets actually on the top, 2 KPIs I would call, help me a lot to take a lot of management related decision. And if your company is 76.12% allocation allocated, means they are having active work of 76.12%. I would still not call it as a bad shape of the company, because they are completely or near completely allocated. A company with 100% allocation will not be able to function as effective as it should. But that's an ideal scenario always businessman looks at. But based on this, if you see this resource has not been allocated since the beginning, maybe this catches the eyes of management and say, hey, why is this resource not allocated? So you start questioning and asking if he's sick or non-performer, or the project manager doesn't likes him and he doesn't take active participation in completing the task. Maybe then the management can take some decision as to whether do we want to keep such resources or move them out, or hire some skilled resources which are like over allocated and have a lot of overloaded of work. So such kind of skilled resources are in high demand. So maybe they take a decision to hire such more skilled resources in the organization. Well, we can go on with more use cases, but let me see if I have a couple of more to show you guys. But yeah, let's dig in here and see if there are some beautiful ones for us. Yeah, this is actually, we saw, let me go back. All right, so this is also a trend of all the projects that are running. I guess we discussed this also. Yeah, this is normal employee card that we have created. Yeah, this is also an availability report as to when each resource is available, when, and stuff like that. Nothing major. Yeah, so I feel kind of what use cases I wanted to actually show you have been covered. Yeah, maybe one interesting thing. We had one of the reports also where we had created the tasks overview. So we had a list of all the tasks from all the projects, and this pie in the middle, we can click on the project, and then the filters of the tasks used to come down. You can have a look at the start date and the finish date, what the progress of the task is, and what the effort of the task is, and stuff like that can be could have been viewed from this. So this was also one of the beautiful reports that used to be used by us and helped us. Well, I think at this point of time, I open the stage for Q&A, and maybe I can also search by myself if there are any questions left. All right.
Hello. Um, I don't see questions in the chat.
Yeah, even I don't see any questions. So if everything is exactly clear or exactly not clear, I am not sure. But yes, I am still open for questions. If you guys have any questions, I would be more than interested to answer them.
Yes, I guess they are. They can contact you as well in case they. Yeah, maybe we can show
Definitely.
them again, just in case. Yes, your contact data. So I guess they
Exactly.
contact you.
Definitely. So you can get back to me in case you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Well, thank you then for providing this opportunity, and was such a nice pleasure to speak on this topic. This is a very interesting topic, and if you guys need any help, my doors are always open. Please come, and I'll see how I can help you the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuldeep, as well for your time and for sharing your knowledge with us. And we hope to see you soon in person,
Oh,
since we know
yes,
that you are coming to the
definitely.
office.
Definitely.
Yes. Thanks everybody also for your time and being today with us. And we hope to see you again in our upcoming events and upcoming webinars. Please check our newsletter and subscribe and be up to date to everything that we have to offer. Have a nice day, guys. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye
Bye.
bye, Kuldeep.
Thank you. Bye.